When it comes to ICE agents being sent out to Chicago and Portland, there's a lot of different opinions going around. And my thing is this: if you're trying to enforce the law, I don't care which party you fall on. As a citizen, I want to feel safe where I'm living. So if there are criminals out there committing crimes, looting, rioting, and the law is not being enforced in my state, well, the next step is you're going to have the federal government step in and take control. I would like that to happen, because if my own governor or mayor are not going to handle it, then I don't want to be here anymore, because you are making me uncomfortable. So I really feel bad for people in Chicago and Portland who love living there. They want to raise their families. They want to live a peaceful life. And look, we're going to have our disagreements. But when you're going out there and making these citizens feel uncomfortable, even businesses being destroyed, you have a lot of chaos. And when you have these left leaning mayors and governors not trying to take Trump's help because they don't like him, it just creates a bunch of problems. Am I saying that the ICE agents are perfect the way they enforce the law? Absolutely not. But we're going to get into the clip with Nick Fuentes, because he brings up the point about, is Trump the man for the job? And will this benefit or hurt conservatives when we get to the 2028 presidential election? Let's hear what he had to say.
Is Trump the guy to do it? Is his administration competent? Are they able? And I think the answer is no. My fear, my concern is that they are agitating the left. They are provoking the left. They're inciting the left. And the left is emboldened. They're emboldened by the media, by the governors, by the mayors. You see it, like they think the rules don't apply, and they're not afraid. And they're out there in the streets. They don't play by the rules like we do. And the Trump administration daring them, pissing them off. He's getting into a direct confrontation with them. And if he is not willing to take it all the way.
And here's the thing I've noticed in different clips where Antifa and these radical groups are just doing whatever they want. They're coming after ICE agents, they're fighting back. And the leaders of these cities are enabling them. They're saying, hey, like, we have these ICE agents coming into our town, and they label them a specific way when the reality is they're trying to enforce the law. You see Democrats saying, oh, we can use law enforcement to get things under control. But over the last few years, that hasn't taken place. So it's just a bunch of back and forth. I wonder if a guy like Barack Obama enforced the law like this, how would people react on the left? It makes me wonder. Or if they had a guy like Joe Biden and this crime is running rampant and he used the federal powers that he has to enforce ICE agents to go out there, arrest these illegals and arrest people who are not making their citizens feel safe. It just makes me wonder. I see it, constantly now where they feel emboldened and feel empowered because these mayors and governors have not taken the time to enforce things, to hold them accountable. They just let them protest and destroy buildings. And it's like, that's frustrating. You can go out there and state how you feel. I'm perfectly okay with free speech and exercising First Amendment. But when it gets to a point where violence happens, that's where you're crossing the line, in my personal opinion, because you're making, again, citizens feel unsafe when you can easily communicate that anger without burning businesses down, without looting properties, and making sure that, look, this is where we stand, but we also recognize we want our community to feel that you're safe and you're going to be okay. But that's not happening. And it's just a big mess.
Overwhelm them and decisively defeat them such that they are scattered, that the problematic ones are identified and arrested. If they're planning attacks on ICE, that's terrorism. If you've got left-wing agitators that are planning to shoot ICE, yeah, that's a problem. That's terrorism. If you're not willing to identify and arrest the leaders, scatter the sheep, mass arrests of protesters obstructing law enforcement, putting them away for 4 years so that we can finish the job, then what actually are you doing? You're creating a powder keg. You're pissing off the other side, and you're just making things worse. That's my biggest concern, because what politics really is on some level, it's this formula How do you activate your side without activating the other side? How do you
I could definitely see a situation where, let's say, the Democrats are more organized, they have their messages in place, they have more moderate talking points, and you have a really strong candidate and they go up against JD Vance. What's going to happen is the media is going to use all this fuel to get their base fired up. Then they go out and vote in the droves and they get undecisive voters on their side. They appeal to their emotions. You like look at the situation with these ICE agents and how it was conducted by the Trump administration. Should you trust JD Vance? No, you shouldn't. You're going to see that swing towards the Democrats. And if Trump doesn't enforce the law, doesn't get more arrests going, and you could say, oh, he's playing the long game. Yeah, you could do that, but you could still face a situation where you get the left so fired up that the media uses it against you. It's important to remember the Democrats need a really good candidate. I don't think somebody like Gavin Newsom, I don't think somebody like AOC is the right person to run a Democratic Party. I think Shapiro would be a good option for them. But at the same time, if MAGA feels like, you know what, Trump, he was good, but he didn't live up to the expectations that I had in mind. Then you have a situation where maybe I don't want to show up and support JD Vance, or maybe, you know what, I'm going to sit this one out or stay in the middle, or I'll vote for a Democrat. And that might sound crazy, but the media has a way of swaying people. And if this gets mishandled and we have different stories come out with these ICE agents not properly enforcing the law, and Trump isn't able to clean things up the way conservatives want him to, then it could backfire in 2028.
How do you get your people energized? And how do you get your people engaged and willing to do activism? Carry out your agenda with popular support without getting the other side so pissed off that they rally in the streets and then they come back in the next election and they send you home. And I fear that what Trump is doing, all it's doing is activating the other side, while his own side may not even fully support what he's doing, while his own administration may not be organized and competent enough to see it through. And the question is, what happens in 2028 when the left is reorganized and they have fortified themselves and they found their messaging, and the right has JD Vance, who is a dork and who sucks, and the Democrats win in 28. They're going to come back with a vengeance. And the way that Trump has been operating, going after James Comey, going after Letitia Jackson, going after the illegals, like in principle, I support it. Spiritually, I support it. But if you're not willing to actually deconstruct the left and make it so that they can't come back, like really disassemble their base of power and salt the earth so that it will take a generation for them to come back, then what really are you doing other than breathing oxygen into the fire? What are you doing other than pissing them off, militating, making them militarized and energizing them so that they can come back and say, you went after Comey and Letitia Jackson. Now we are really coming after you. Your ICE thugs were punching and beating up left-wing agitators. Well, now we are going to arrest all the ICE agents. We're going to arrest all the right-wing podcasters, people like me.
Nick Fuentes makes some good points there. I can see a situation where the Democrats, they are more organized, they've got their message figured out, they have the right candidate, and they use these ICE agents against the conservatives. They point out clips where you have a Democrat peacefully protesting, and the ICE agents really enforce the law, but they take it too far. Fair or unfair, that could happen. And then you have Trump, who came out last year and campaigned about the Epstein situation. Musk went on X and said that Trump is on that list, and the Epstein files never got released. The media could use that against JD Vance because he's the vice president. And the growing suspicions of, well, maybe you are on the list, and conservatives might be torn because you promised one thing, you didn't do it. So there's a lot of uncertainty right now, in my opinion. Love to hear your thoughts about what Nick Fuentes had to say here. Do you agree or disagree? Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.